Welcome
it's Beefsteaks
to the Beefsteaks Podcast.
Holy shit, we're back.
And better than ever, baby. And better than ever.
Man, we only been on YouTube for 1 week, and we already got a new layout. What the fuck is going on around here? These motherfuckers get professional?
I think somebody's working hard for the money. So hard for it, honey.
She work hard for the money, so you better treat me right.
I'll treat you right, baby.
I know you
I'll
will.
lick you in all the right places. I know how to make you scream. So what is going on, my friend Paystee Whyt?
My friend, I am going to the YouTube and realizing I'm partly not set up yet.
So what is going on, my friend Paystee Whyt?
It's running. It's live. It just says it's Beefsteaks Podcast episode 21. And partly not set up yet.
So what is going on, my friend Paystee fans know. Our fans have been counting each and every episode. They know exactly where we're at, man. They know exactly where we're at. Our fans know. Our fans have been counting each and every episode. They know exactly where we're at, man. They know exactly where we're at. Our fans know. Our fans have been. It does sound like. It sounds like 6 cans, actually.
6 cans. I got 12 bottles.
They know exactly where we're at. Our fans know.
Ring
ding dong. It sounds like 6 cans. Ding ding dong. Keep the heads ringing. They know.
Bring it down. Don't know what that means, but it's there. All right, we're good. Beefsteaks Podcast, episode 222. Happy birthday, Mr. McMahon. We promise not to piss you off this week.
72nd birthday
Holy
to what
shit.
may as well be considered the godfather of professional wrestling. And a happy 72nd to a man who's in better shape than either Paystee or myself.
You know, we don't try that hard, though. We don't try that hard, though.
No. Well, I work hard at this figure, man. I work hard at it. I keep my gut bulbous. I keep my tits ample.
Supple.
I work hard for it. I keep my ass supple.
Ass supple.
With supplements.
Ass.
I got that ass supplement.
Shake that ass, bitch, and let me see what you got. Yeah. Too bad my voice isn't low this week. Fuck. That would have been great.
You ain't on that jungle juice.
Holy shit, guys. So we're doing something a little backwards and completely different from what we normally do on the show. Fat Mack is totally and completely in charge of the audio. And I am totally and completely in charge of your video. And he can't even see me right now.
Nope. But you will
draw a
get
picture of
certain
him
sound
in a
effects like this one. Yeah, and this one. And this one.
I can't
And
wait to
for
hear
a
those.
change, Paystee can't hear them and I can, so he's on the other end this time. He has no idea what I'm clicking. I could be clicking the button that says Paystee Whyt's an asshole.
Right
He doesn't know.
The episode should have been called Hear No Evil, See No Evil, because you can't see me and I can't hear you.
Right? And we're both evil as shit.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
We're both almost as evil as Evil from New Japan Pro Wrestling.
I'm proud to say I got beer in the studio again. It's been like 4 weeks. I apologize.
I'm proud for you. I'm very proud of you. That's awesome. What do you have, Paystee?
Oh boy. This week, we're drinking on Stone Ruination Double IPA. Cause, I mean, when I think, do I want a hamburger at McDonald's? Nah, I want a double cheeseburger. Do I want an IPA? Nah, let me double down on that shit. I even got a story to read you. When Stone Ruination
I want to hear it.
first hit the scenes in 2002, ales filled with resinous cumulus lupulus were few and far between. Not so today. Terms such as lupulin and IBU are well established in the craft beer lexicon. This double IPA has always been crafted to celebrate all facets of the hop and the hip. I added that part.
The hip,
Shut
the
up.
hop, the hip to the hip hop, and you don't stop and rock it to the bang bang boogie. So up jump the boogie, cause the boogie to the boogie to beat.
Now, what you hear? Shut up! I can't do that. I could do the whole song, and I really want to, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to.
But let's all just admit that Sugar Hill Gang is one of the best, not only rap groups, but musical groups of all time, and a pioneer of what we call hip-hop and rap today.
But anyways, it's beauty and poetry. It's boldness and might. As a craft beer, it has evolved. And so, too, have techniques for coaxing the best out of hops. So, in updating Stone Ruination IPA, we squeezed every last drop of piney, citrusy, tropical essence from the Centennial, Citra, Sycamo, and Azteca hops that give us this beer its incredible character. Join us in cheering the second stanza in our liquid poem to the glory of the hop.
All glory to the hop.
Glory! I'm gonna start a hop-based religion. And like it or not, all of you listeners are part of it!
I'm gonna start a hip-based religion where we worship hip bones and shit.
That's weird.
And then you and I can get together and have a hip hop religion, and it'll be amazing.
Yes, sir. So what are you drinking on? Or are we just skipping your part?
I actually got a double 6-pack. It's a brewing company we haven't had on here before, and I hadn't heard of yet. It's called Badger Hill. I was actually right, Paystee. I couldn't remember the name of it.
Badger Milk? Like
Badger Hill, not Badger Milk.
Badger Milk.
It's
From the
Badger
animal.
Milk.
Rob Schneider. Your favorite.
So,
right? Your favorite movie?
Yeah, Rob Schneider is my favorite movie. You are correct.
No, The Animal. With Rob
The Animal is my favorite movie?
Specifically,
Which animal? The badger? Which animal is my favorite movie? The puma? How about Jaguar?
Jaguar.
Anyways, so it's a double 6-pack. It's got 3 of 2 types of beer. And the one is the Mini Ale, named after Minnesota. And the other is the Hop Hill, named after Hoppasoda. And they're both from the Badger Hill Brewing Company of Shakopee, Minnesota. For those of you folks who don't remember, Shakopee, Minnesota brews all of its beers in the toilets of the Shakopee State Prison of Minnesota. Delicious. You can taste it. And this comes with a story as well. And the 2 stories come together, the Mini Ale and the Hop Hill. They have a story that comes together. And the story goes, many moons ago, when the Vikings came to Minnesota and upon their land, they landed in Minnesota and they created this ale. But they had these tiny, tiny pitchers because nobody thought to bring larger pitchers. And they called it the Mini Ale. Yes, it was the Mini Ale. And they drank this Mini Ale, and they all went gallivanting as they were inebriated to the hills.
And frolicking.
Yes, to the hills of Minnesota, because Minnesota is known, if nothing else, for its hills. And while on the hills of Minnesota, they started hopping. And that is where the Hop Hill beer came from. So that's where you get the Mini Ale and the Hop Hill.
See, I think honestly, my interpretation of that is Minnesota nice. It's Minnesota nice slang for suicide hill. It's the hill you go to jump off of when you're at the end of your rope, man. It's just
Oh yeah,
Minnesota
there's
nice.
plenty of that there. There's plenty of that there. You know, there was a few rapes there also. I mean, they're Vikings. That's what they do. They rape and pillage. You know, there's nothing nice about real life Vikings. You know, everybody's so shit and pissed about the Redskins football team. Nobody says nothing about the Vikings. Were they not the worst type of creatures known? You ever watch that fucking show on, what is it, Showtime or whatever?
I'm not
Them
watching
fuckers
it.
were ruthless.
I'm not watching it until
Horrible.
I'm done with Vikings. Or not, yeah, till I'm done with it. Till I'm done with Black Flag. I got like 3 or 4
I'm not
episodes
watching
of Black
Vikings until I'm done with Vikings. Fuck that if I'm going to start rewatching it while I'm watching it now. I've never watched it either. I made up that whole story, but it sounds like a good story because they didn't give me a story to tell, and I like that story. I like seeing Vikings frolic and you know, gallivant.
There you go.
There's not enough Vikings gallivanting on TV nowadays.
Skipping through fields of daisies.
Yeah, all you get is the raping and the pillaging. You know, they had fun too.
Right.
They had homo in Viking times. Come on, they were on a ship together for years.
Right.
What did they do before they started raping the Native American women on which the beaches they landed? Before that, they were fucking each other in the ass on the ship.
Hey, according to Black Sails, Captain Flint was gay before he was on the ship. Well, he wasn't gay, but he was curious.
Well, you don't get a name like Captain by being straight, my friend. It's super special.
And then I gotta say, I'm super disappointed in myself because Defenders hit Netflix. Have you been on your Netflix this week?
I have not watched Defenders.
No, but have you been on Netflix this week? If you're on Netflix this week, you will notice that there's a new profile on your Netflix saying, Josh borrowed Netflix for a few days. Yeah.
I did see that. I haven't checked it out, but I've seen
Kirsten's
it.
like, did you message him and tell him? I'm like, that defeats the purpose of the title.
Right? That blows the whole surprise.
I watched every episode of The Defenders in 2 sittings. And I'm really sad that it's over.
That seems like a waste of a show, man. Why would you want to do it in just 2 sittings? Now you've wasted the whole show.
Because it's only 8 episodes.
Why not spread it out? Spread it out.
It was like sitting through 2 movies. That's how I watch a show. I pretty much sit down and I'll watch the duration of like a good long 3.5 hour movie. And then that's a day for me.
I hope you don't fuck like you watch TV, Loke, or I feel bad for Panda Red. I'm just going to plow it out in 2 goes. Then we're going to be done. I'm satisfied.
No, now I really want to... I'm contemplating... contemplating going back and watching all the Marvel Netflix shows again. Even though I've already watched them once.
I still haven't watched Iron Fist. I haven't watched Iron Fist yet. I should, but I haven't.
You should. You need to before you can watch The Defenders.
I haven't watched The Defenders.
I know. It was fucking good.
I got Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I still haven't watched the first one of that, and I got the disc the first Guardians of the Galaxy. I got the disc of 2 sitting on my table right now. It's like, I'm not going to watch it. I need to watch the first one.
Right.
I got to go online and find that.
Yeah, you got to watch the first one, because supposedly in the third one, they're killing them all off. That's what I heard. Spoilers!
I'm okay with that.
Hey, it works.
I'm okay with that. So I feel like we're obligated to do this at this point. Let's talk the latest Rick and Morty.
All right.
I feel like the fans rely on us to give them our opinions of what's popping in the Rick and Morty verse.
Now that Adult Swim made it so hard for people to actually watch the show, it's our sworn duty.
How difficult is it really? Instead of going to YouTube, you go to a different website.
Right. No,
and to be fair, there is still actually a handful of there are a handful of the episodes, at least as of Tuesday, that were still up. You had to look a little harder on YouTube, but there were a handful that were still up. I found them, of course, after I had already watched it on by other means. But just looking for other random stuff, I found a handful of the episodes.
Now, I rate things based on how funny I find it. Therefore, the last episode is probably my favorite of the season.
Fair enough.
This would have to probably be my second or third favorite. I don't know if Pickle Rick surpasses it or not. But,
wow.
Yeah.
I give you that, I guess. Yeah, if you're rating it on just the comedy, I can see that.
I want, how much does it make me laugh? And this is just, I've only watched the episodes through once. I think I'm going to go back and rewatch them all again soon, but I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, and as I said last week, like I said, my favorite up to that point was the Mad Max episode, and that was probably the least funniest of them so far. But I really liked the character development, and I liked the action and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we're basing on two different things, which is good. You and I are usually pretty good at looking at things, looking at the same coin, but from two different sides. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I've got the caveman brain, and you're slightly more analytical.
But that's good, because that kind of covers our spectrum of listeners, I hope, and viewers at this point. Thank you, viewers on YouTube. We appreciate it. And thank you, listeners on Spreaker and iTunes and Google Play Music and Stitcher Radio and whatever other means you may be finding us on. We love you. So go ahead, plug the episode, talk about the episode, let us know what's going on.
Well, Morty begged Rick to take Jerry on an adventure. Jerry knew it was bullshit right away. They went to...
Yeah, but what did Jerry think it was right away? He didn't think that it was a bullshit adventure.
Oh, I don't remember his exact words, but something about being dumped naked into the vacuum of space by Rick. He thought that Rick was gonna kill him. Is what he thought it was. He thought it was like taking old Yeller behind the barn, you know. And to be fair, he was naked, and Rick did promise to make him pants, but Rick did not follow through on his promise to make him pants right away. No, I like this episode a lot. They didn't want to go on an adventure together, so they decided to just stop at a place and come up with a cover story for their fake adventure. And shit ensues.
Shit ensues. But he takes them to this place for a specific reason. And the specific reason that he takes Jerry to this place is this is one of the few, if not only, places in the universe where no harm, no death, no illness, no nothing ill-conceived can happen to you. So it's basically like, let's take the special ed kid to the fucking ball pit with foam walls. It's basically what Rick was doing to Jerry.
It's great. Kids running around with laser pistols, shooting each other in the head, getting back up and running off.
Yeah, but it's still bad parenting. It's a quote from the episode, folks, if you haven't watched it yet. Oh, and I totally called the Lando Calrissian Han Solo part when they first get there. I was watching it for the first time with Phantom, and that guy spears Rick through the heart. And I was like, right off the bat, I was like, oh shit, they're doing the Lando Calrissian Han Solo. Right. I didn't know how they were going about it, but it's Rick and Morty. I mean, this is the show where Rick gave Morty a shot that fixed broken legs. So I knew he was fine. But I totally called the Lando Calrissian Han Solo fucking deal. And it was. They're like, you son of a bitch. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Jerry gets taken in by the leader of the place, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, almost kind of almost a mob boss type of figure. Almost. You know, kind of a Don Corleone, if you will.
Yeah, and he hates Rick. And he basically tells Jerry, you're going to kill Rick. Jerry's like, how can I kill Rick? We're in a place where you can't die. And at the very top of, good God, I'm really bad at this. Don't make me tell stories. You tell stories. Fantastic
it's
Fables
the whirly
guy. The whirly durly.
The whirly durly, which is a... I'm having fun listening to it, which is a roller coaster. The whirly durly is a roller coaster. And you can imagine being on a roller coaster in a place where you cannot be harmed. Like, I don't do roller coasters. I don't like heights. I don't like roller coasters. But if I knew for an infinite, 100% fact that I couldn't be harmed or hurt, I'd go on a roller coaster quick as shit because it'd be fun. The only reason I don't go on roller coasters is because, I'm going to die.
I love roller coasters. Maybe it's because of a secret I want to die part of me. But I don't think so. It could be. No, I like roller coasters.
So they're on this roller coaster, and the deal is there's one point in the loop where they go above what is basically the force field that keeps everybody safe. At one point of the loop, they go just slightly above that force field, and at that point, Rick can be killed, or anyone. Anyone can be killed. So this gang, this mob, if you will, convinces Jerry all Jerry has to do is take him on the roller coaster. That's all you got to do, Jerry. Just take him on the roller coaster. So Jerry takes him on the roller coaster, and the guys are in there, and they're going to kill him, and Jerry wants to try to save Rick. I don't know why. Why not just let the motherfucker die? He's the bane of Jerry's fucking existence. That part I don't get. There's a lot in this episode I don't get, and we can get to that later when talking about it. But anyways, so he's like, hey, Rick, duck, hey, we're over here, hey, let's start whoobity-whoobity. And anyways, but then Rick notices these guys are trying to kill him, and then one of, God, it's not even one of the best battle scenes of this season, because I got to give that to Pickle Rick.
Yeah.
But still, a really awesome fight scene takes place. A, it's on a roller coaster, and B, at this point, until they get to that one peak, none of them can be harmed or killed. So heads are getting knocked off, and people are getting fucking shot, and arms are getting dismembered, and everything just pops back and grows back, and everybody's still living. So it's a really awesome fight scene, honestly. This is probably the highlight of the whole episode.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I do, however, like when Rick gets shot with the dart and becomes completely jerried out. That's fun.
Yeah, and see, that's the biggest part I don't like. So, folks, anyways, after the fact, jibbity-bob, jibbity-boo, they end up giving Rick a shot with a dart, as Paystee said, which takes... See, I think he doesn't like the picture that I put up of him. That might have been what it...
As of the second, we are now back on YouTube. YouTube, we're back!
Woohoo! YouTubing!
Hey, YouTubers, this is important why you also follow us on our Spreaker, so that when shit happens, you can stick with the show, because the show never stopped.
You won't miss a beat, folks, if you do that. You won't miss a beat. If you were just on YouTube, you have no fucking idea what just happened. Do you? Do you? Well, you didn't miss much. I did sum up the Rick and Morty thing. I talked about Bobby Roode a little bit. I was just starting to get on Rusev. I'm on the news and notes, unless there was something you wanted to get into in between all this, Loke.
No, we can talk about Rusev and Lana and this bullshit permeating the internet.
Yeah, bullshit. That's what it is. Or that's what it seems to be. See, there is a website called...
Sticks. It can't possibly be true. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. You need to get that put on bumper stickers and shit, man. So, there's a website called The Dirty Sheets. And they, as well as many other news sources, were reporting that Rusev had tension with the creative team as of late. Understandable. He has been booked like shit for well over a year.
Yeah, very much so.
And if this, I think we talked about this recently, but my feeling is, if this still stems from their fucking engagement, Well, WWE had a storyline where they were broken up. That's petty as shit, 'cause that's been like 3 years ago. So I hope it's something else other than that that's keeping them in the doghouse. But anyways, after Paystee Whyt made a few phone calls, he sent me some names through email. I got a hold of some people. We have confirmed that there is no truth to the report issued earlier today via the Dirty Sheets that Rusev and Lana were asking for their release. Not true. Didn't happen. We can't back that up with a single source.
Rusev and Lana do ask for release, but it's more the sexual type.
Yeah, Rusev likes to get his prostate milked. If you don't know nothing about that, look it up on... just pass on it. It's probably not a pretty thing. Subsequently, Lana did put out a tweet earlier today stating, quote, "That's called don't believe the pathetic villagers that pretend that they are journalists with real facts. Ha 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 ha." So, while one can assume that Rusev and Lana are probably not happy with the way they're being booked now.
All right. And we're back on the YouTubes again. Third time's the charm. Third time's the charm. It better be fucking good. This better not happen again. I'm gonna get real pissed. Old Vinnie Mac sitting with his bottle of Windsor Canadian at his desk, just pushing the red button. So the fuck did I miss? Yes.
But Red Dragon did. I don't know if they're going to call him Red Dragon, but...
Hey, and now the YouTubers can hear you again.
Woo! That's good also.
Fuck.
I don't know if they're going to call him Red Dragon, but I do know that Corey Graves referred to their finisher as Chasing the Dragon on NXT.
Yes, he did.
So that's cool. That gives me hope. And I, you know what? They don't have to keep their name Red Dragon, but I do love the Red Dragon name. I like it, and it's associated with them.
Blue Dragon.
Blue Dragon with a lowercase BLU.
Or they'll just add a hyphen and it'll become Re-Dragon.
Great. Well, they are the new formation of the Red Dragons. They are Re-Dragon. But then later that night, what I hoped for and thought didn't happen because I fell asleep and then didn't catch the full thing, Adam Cole actually did show after the main event, after Drew Galloway beat Bobby Roode and became the new NXT Heavyweight Champion. Adam Cole came in, as well as Red Dragon, and the three of them fucking wreaked havoc in the ring, and it made me so happy, and I calmed down myself a little, and then I calmed down myself a lot, and then I jerked off, and I couldn't come anymore, so I just sat there with a limp dick in my hand flopping around. But it still made me happy. Very happy.
It was exactly what you wanted, and you didn't even see it first time. I'm like, you gotta go back. You gotta go back. I was trying not to spoil it for you. I wanted to really bad.
I was watching NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3, and I fell asleep about halfway through. I had to work in the morning. I had worked all day, and I was just tired. I accidentally fell asleep, but I kept it on. And so it ran while I was sleeping. And I wake up multiple times throughout the night, and my dogs wake me up. And they played NXT Brooklyn 3 at least 4 times that night. They replayed it over and over. So I'd wake up, and it'd be at different places, and I'd watch a little bit and go to sleep. So I woke up at one point, and it was about halfway through the main event. And so I sat up, and it was more than halfway through, because I went back and rewatched it, and it was towards the end. But I went back and rewatched it. So I watched it. I woke up. I was like, hey, I'm awake. I'm going to sit here and watch it. And I watched it, and I watched the ending, and Drew Galloway won, and I was like, holy crap. And I was waiting for Adam Cole, and I was like, yeah. Nothing happened, and he's celebrating, and nothing happened. And then the copyright thing came down at the bottom of the screen, and it was like, copyright WWE 2017, da-da-da. And I waited a little bit, and then it faded away. And I thought I seen the very end, but I literally must have passed out while watching the fucking damn logo at the bottom, because I thought I seen the end of it. And I even text Paystee the next day like, no Adam Cole. And I was just so bummed. But Pastee's like, yeah, but you really have to go back and rewatch the whole pay-per-view. And I was like, all right. Or you like rewatch the main event.
The last 2 matches, I think is what I said.
So, yeah, probably. So I went back and I rewatched from where I had fell asleep to there. And then I seen the end, and the end happened. And I was like, yeah, cool. And I was actually about to flick it again before it happened. And all of a sudden, I seen audience members like, oh, and I seen audience members looking. And I was like, oh, shit. And I was like, bam, Adam Cole, baby!
Well, they didn't even show Adam Cole first. They showed Red Dragon first. And then Adam Cole was right afterwards. But yeah, everybody... The crowd, I think it was to throw the crowd off from Adam Cole running down, because the crowd initially popped for Red Dragon, and then you could see Adam Cole running through the crowd. But yeah, no, it was super dope, and I was super happy for you, and then you didn't see it, and I was super frustrating with you.
Right.
And then the next night for SummerSlam, I passed out during the Banks Bliss match, and I didn't wake up till the first main event, so...
Right. We traded our sleeping schedules.
Right.
Which at least one of us gets to watch a full pay-per-view all the way through. Of course, you got the good one, and I got the fucking 27-hour SummerSlam. Right. So
I got a good nap.
The real winner
I got a good fucking nap. I woke up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm right for the night. And there's nothing else to do.
Well, yeah. When you got a fucking 8-hour pay-per-view, you can nap in between and still fucking watch a good chunk of it. Oh... Hey, speaking of that, okay, I'm going to get some of my news. I don't know with everything going on if you'll be able to put up the graphic or not.
Yeah.
But I am going to talk about the I am going to talk about the pre-show a little bit here in just a second. I do want to talk about, though, speaking of Adam Cole, baby. Don't know if anybody else noticed this, but on Raw this week, after Adam Cole debuted on NXT, I think Seth Rollins said the words "Bay Bay" no less than 3 times in his promo. Fucking Rollins, come on, reel it in, buddy. Just reel it in a bit. You got your own shit. You got your own gimmick. You had your time as Ring of Honor champion. Just let somebody else shine right now. You don't need to take his shit.
Right.
I'm just gonna say that.
Chill the fuck out.
Yeah. I was disappointed with that, but nonetheless, 9 o'clock hour, folks. Do you know where your kids are? Yeah. So, are we ready? Do we want to talk about that pre-show?
Yeah.
Why? My thing is, this is why I don't think. This is why I don't think a 2-hour pre-show is not only necessary, why I do think it's harmful. 2-hour pre-show on top of a 4-hour fucking show, which didn't need to go 4 hours, as we figured out. Some great matches, but easily some fat that could have been trimmed off.
There was some good-ass matches on the pre-show, too. Like, oh my god.
I haven't watched the pre-show. The only thing I've heard is the New Day Usos match was awesome.
Yeah, it really
I haven't heard of
fucking
anything
was.
else being good.
Well, that's all I watched. I came in right about the time that match started. But
some
I'm
good
saying,
ass matches.
I turned to Kirsten, I turned to Pat Red, and I tells her, one of these days, straight to the moon. No, I tells her that this is both of these groups. This is the USO and the New Day saying, we have to show them that they can never put us on a pre-show again, because this was easily one of the best matches of the night.
I've heard that from a lot of people. I need to go back and watch it. Weren't you the one? It was either you or B. One of you two even reminded me that it started at 6. Because I was going to just start turning it on like sometime after 6 to watch the pre-show. And it's like, oh, fuck, the pre-show started at 4. I didn't fucking realize that. Yeah, it was you. Because you were like, hey, you watching live now? And I was like, fuck. I was just getting ready to watch the pre-show, but yeah, I guess if it's airing live now, let's watch the whole show.
But as you can see, guys... you go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go.
Okay. Well, I can't see, but apparently they can see. You can see. You look at a group that consists of not only The Miz and Jason Jordan, who The Miz is arguably an extremely hot talent right now, and is definitely a veteran. Yeah, IC champion, a veteran of many years. Jason Jordan, who's in a hot angle right now, and arguably a hot talent at this time. I'm not going to say a hot main eventer, but a hot talent. Okay, I'll give you that you can throw away Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. I'll give you that, and I will. But then you got the Hardy Boys. Not only Matt Hardy, who was part of the hottest angle and hottest controversy in the last couple of years of wrestling, but you have Jeff Hardy, who is arguably in the top 3 most popular WWE wrestlers wrestling today, let alone top 10 of maybe all time. And as you can see from the graphic there, that's who they wrestled in front of, folks. You had the Hardy Boys and Miz wrestling in front of a smaller crowd than a GFW crowd, folks.
Yeah, no.
GFW brings in higher. If Matt and Jeff were still in fucking GFW, they'd be wrestling in front of more people than they did during Summer fucking Slam.
Yeah. He got an amazing shoot promo on Raw though.
The Miz?
Did you see that?
Yes.
That was so.
Where he was like, so this is what a sold out bar skis fucking arena looks like. Which, yes, I you got to shit on him for screwing it up. But, Hulk Hogan's done the same thing, right. So he's in good company.
And who cares? He's a heel.
Like,
he healed it up. Whatever.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, so this is what it looks like to be in front of a sold-out Barclays arena. I wouldn't know. Now, that being said, I got to bring up the fact that neither NXT Brooklyn 3 nor SummerSlam sold out the Barclays arena. That's got to be depressing for WWE.
Well, I mean, look at how they treat SummerSlam. They don't do anything special for the setup. They don't have, the biggest match on the bill was a Fatal 4-Way. They could have done so much more, and they should have. Which
traditionally does not bring in buy rates and does not bring in gate sales. Traditionally, tag teams, Fatal 4-Ways, 3-Ways are not the biggest buy rates and gate sales. Yeah.
Yeah,
and for good reason.
They could have and should have did a lot more with their second biggest pay-per-view of the year. I'm disappointed in them, and I usually hold out hope.
Yeah, I agree. I am also. And I think, that graphic just speaks volumes to me, because it wasn't that people didn't want to see that match.
Right.
It wasn't that people didn't want to see the Miz Taraj versus the Hardys and Jason Jordan. It was that people didn't want to come and sit for fucking 8 hours in the arena. People were out at the bars doing things. They were in their hotel rooms getting ready.
Security didn't let people start filtering through till 5 o'clock. So till the pre-show started, and they were checking people more or something due to rowdy fans at an event the previous week.
Shit.
Is what boils down to. But it's shitty management. And, shitty management and the fact that they don't make a spectacle out of their second biggest pay-per-view.
Let's be honest. If they opened the fucking doors at 2 p.m., it was not going to be a sold-out crowd that was going to be watching that match. By no means. Not at 5 fucking p.m. when they were going to be there until fucking 10, 11 p.m., right?
Right.
I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong, but I can't imagine that. I know people that don't even show up fucking for the first match of the main show. You know, they're just like, well, we'll just, we'll walk in when we walk in. All I want to see is the main event.
Yep. Hey, it goes that way in local music too, my friend. Trust me.
Right? Yeah. There's people that don't show up until the fucking headlining act is supposed to go on.
I only want to see 1 or 2 acts on the bill. Fuck off with that attitude. Fuck off with that shit. How much money are you spending on tickets?
Right. That's where this pre-show thing, I mean, not only the pre-show, and I've gone over and over about how I think the pre-show does make a difference. Some people say it doesn't. I think it does. But having this fucking 6-hour show and having a 2-hour pre-show, if you're going to have a 2-hour pre-show, save all the fucking matches for the second hour. Yeah. You can do recaps and interviews and video packages and all that the first hour. Save all the matches for the second hour. I'm just saying.
And if you got 3 matches on a pre-show, why the hell isn't it just the main show? You know what I mean? Have an hour pre-show and then make your fucking show 5 hours long or whatever.
You know what? I guess I just don't know. I mean, I get dark matches, and I guess the pre-show is supposed to be dark matches. But then they put
big names.
They put the IC title match.
Yeah, tag team titles
pre-show.
are always on the pre-show.
Tag team title on the pre-show, and they put the Hardys on the pre-show. It's like, okay, so they're dark matches, but they're dark matches that you're trying to throw shit into to get people to watch them, which it shouldn't be. It should be your small name talents. It should be some NXT talents wrestling. It should be some 205 talents and some UK talents wrestling that you don't see a lot. It shouldn't have anything to do with the big picture. It shouldn't. Not on your pre-show. That should just be matches that are there just for entertainment.
That's your superstars and main event guys. You know.
Yep.
That's what it is. You heat up the crowd. You
wouldn't have heard anybody
X
complaining
and shove them off to the side.
No, and you shouldn't. And you wouldn't see anybody complaining if Big Show and Cass with Enzo in the cage was on the pre-show.
Right.
You wouldn't have seen anybody complaining if fucking Rusev and Randy Orton in their fucking 8-second match were on the pre-show.
It wouldn't have been long enough to fill the time on the pre-show, though. That's the problem.
That's true. And after the fact, you probably wouldn't see that many people upset about seeing fucking Jinder Mahal versus Shinsuke Nakamura on the pre-show. Although I would argue you should never have a world title on the pre-show. The match itself was definitely pre-show material.
Yeah, they should have had that match at like the midpoint of the pay-per-view. You know, like where they have like an arcing up to the first main event and then an arcing to the second main event. Because that wasn't a good warm-up for me for the Fatal 4-Way.
Right.
I was very disappointed.
Now I feel like
I could have slept another 15 minutes.
You probably could have, and it probably would have been much more worth your time.
Right.
So we're getting into a segue into SummerSlam, so we should get into the recap. We should get into our thoughts of that. Before that, I got one more news story to talk about. And Paystee might have a graphic for us for this one. This one took place at GFW.
Well, I guess before you say that, we got to bring out our Jerry of the Week.
Oh, shit. How'd I forget the Jerry on top? How'd I forget the Jerry? You're right. Jerry of the Week, baby.
And who, sir? Who, sir, is our Jerry this week?
The Jerry of the Week. I almost forgot we have a Jerry of the Week, and I'm the one that fucking made it up. I'm as consistent as WWE Creative.
You guys got to see this graphic, by the way. If you're just listening, go check out the YouTube.
So, the Jerry of the Week is a poor Bruce Pritchard. Yes, folks, brother love, who may have the best and biggest wrestling podcast out there right now called
next to ours.
Yes, next to ours, of course. Called Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard. Yeah, brother love, folks. Bruce Pritchard. He's been working in GFW since the inception of GFW and the amalgamation of GFW, TNA becoming one entity, as if a symbiote on a Spider-Man turning one into the black suit. This latest edition of GFW Impact saw an old familiar face come out, and that old familiar face was one Jim Cornette, who we have talked about at length on this show, usually involving Vince Russo. Vince Russo was not involved in this, but folks, I'm gonna let you hear what happened when Bruce Pritchard and Jim Cornette met in the middle of the GFW ring. Here it is, folks. So there you go, folks. Jim Cornette fired Bruce Pritchard from GFW. Now, I don't know in that sentence which is more degrading. Being fired, being in GFW, or having Cornette fire you. I mean, of any other, I don't know which one's the worst. They all sound pretty Jerry to me.
Thusly making Jim Cornette the Rick of the Week. I'm here
the Rick of the Week
to fire your ass because I hate you.
Motherfucker.
I can't wait till he shows up wherever Vince Russo is working to fire him. That'd be great.
Come here, motherfucker. Get out here, Vince Russo. I don't give a shit if you're selling burgers at Sonic. Get your ass out here. The drive-thru will wait. Vince Russo isn't selling burgers at Sonic. Why am I shitting on Vince Russo? I like Vince Russo. Selling burgers at Sonic. I know you're at Burger King, motherfucker. SummerSlam!
SummerSlam!
So we talked about the pre-show, so we're not going to talk about it anymore. Just fuck it. Honestly. Well, unless you got something more to say, Paystee.
Nah. Other than you need to watch the New Day Usos match.
I do. I got to go back and watch that, and I will. There's still a handful of matches I want to rewatch. Also from SummerSlam. Definitely the main event. I want to see that one again. So starting on the main show, they started out with the biggest name in the company, folks. John Cena took on Baron Corbin in a match that I think, honestly, until the Monday before, I had pinned Cena winning, and after Corbin failed in that cash-in, you and I were on the same page, Paystee. We said Corbin's going to have this fire under him, and he's going to just take
destroy
it.
him.
And
I said he was going to destroy him. It didn't happen.
And Cena destroyed Corbin in a very quick, not quite a squash match, but almost a squash match. Have you heard the rumors, my friend Paystee?
Rumors is that Vince is not hot on the idea of Baron Corbin anymore, I think is the
rumors that Baron Corbin has been pushing people the wrong way backstage, a la Enzo Amore, including John Cena, who has pulled him aside a few times and talked to him. Actually, hold on, because I might actually have a article up here. But yeah, he seems to be in the doghouse, which would explain a lot. Would definitely explain a lot.
Yes, it would. I don't get it, and I think this is why WWE needs somebody like The Undertaker to be the guy backstage to keep people in line. Because people like Enzo Amore and Baron Corbin should not be walking around with any kind of attitude towards people who have been doing it for a lot longer.
No, but it's the internet era, dude, and people
and the problem
people get such a big head so quickly.
Roman Reigns is the guy running around saying he's the one backstage swinging the sword now. He is the one filling in the Undertaker's shoes when it comes to the locker room. Bitch, you ain't been here long enough.
Yeah, and he was given his position.
Give it to Cena. I'll be happy if you give it to Cena.
Undertaker worked his
give it
ass
to Orton because he'd hold
everyone.
it. Orton would run that shit.
Orton's got too bad of a temper. Orton would be throwing that sword around. He'd be swinging that shit like a fucking untamed cock, man. I don't want to see Orton get it. He would deserve it more than Reigns, but I don't think he'd handle it very professionally or coy at all. So what I got here says, speculation has been that WWE is scaling back on Corbin's push due to his behavior on social media and in backstage. It has been reported that multiple incidents, including a backstage altercation with John Cena, is what led to Corbin's WWE push being halted. The reports noted that during the August 15th WWE SmackDown tapings, Corbin was chewed out backstage by John Cena in front of creative and other WWE talents at the gorilla position. Cena was reportedly unhappy with the way Corbin perceives himself and his general backstage attitude in WWE. The report further says that Cena even took a shot at Corbin on WWE TV and referenced their real-life heat at the at a video that was clipped on here. But anyways, in SummerSlam, Cena could be seen yelling at Corbin saying, "Nothing is about you. You ain't done shit here, so you don't know what it's like." And that phrase alone is not very John Cena character.
No, definitely
and
not.
Especially swearing is not very John Cena character.
Not very.
So
PG.
I would believe, yeah, not very at all. So I would believe that might be shoot right there, not a work. So if Baron Corbin is pissing people off backstage, I would avoid pissing off John Cena. Not a good idea.
Yeah.
As he's learning right now. That would explain a lot, though, because as you had stated, I mean, you called the Corbin push long before he even got a push.
Oh, yeah.
But I was buying into it. I mean, I think we all see they were actually behind this Corbin machine, and it looks like all of a sudden, bam, halt that shit. Press the brakes.
See, and that's another thing I don't like, is whenever Vince gets a wild hair up his ass, he's just so quick to change everything. You don't do that. You punish him on your own, but you gotta, I don't want to see that shit on TV.
Talk about changing everything. What the fuck did I hear? There was 2 big changes that Vince McMahon made last fucking minute. I heard that he had made the Jinder Mahal and Nakamura. He had changed that because originally it was supposed to be, and again, this is rumor and innuendo, speculation, but I have heard that the original plan was for Jinder Mahal to lose via disqualification. The Singh brothers would come in and actually interfere in the match and get a disqualification, so Nakamura would have the win, but Jinder would still hold the championship. Now, the idea is that Vince McMahon changed that at, 7 o'clock Eastern time, which would have been 1 hour into the pay-per-view.
That sounds like Vinny.
And it very much does. And it sounds like that decision directly affected the Rusev-Randy Orton match, because Vince McMahon at the same time felt that there was too many heels winning and that he had to give a face a win. And allegedly, according to this story, which this part I almost don't buy, but according to this report, Rusev was going to win the match against Randy Orton, but since Vince decided to have Mahal win clean over Shinsuke, he wanted Rusev, the heel, to lose to Orton, the face. That one I don't know about, but it would kind of explain the clusterfuck, like, I don't give a fuck match. But, talk about Vince McMahon changing. If these reports are true, Vince McMahon changed a championship title match 1 hour after the pay-per-view already ran. So, holy shit. Yeah, that's not... I mean, he's a godfather of wrestling, but that's not professional.
No, it isn't. And I feel like it's going to piss off superstars, and they're not going to give nearly as good of a match as they would have given some fucking notice.
And it pisses off fans.
Yeah.
Obviously, because those two matches are not looked at well in retrospect.
Yeah. Yeah,
at least not what I've read, seen, and heard. Yeah. So, let's go on. We had the women's SmackDown title match, which was Natalya versus Naomi.
Yeah.
Natalya won this one with the sharpshooter. I was surprised. Not a good match.
You called it, though.
Match.
You said Natty was going to win it. I went against you here.
And I, you know what? And I do. I think it's time, and I feel it's okay. It does surprise me just for the fact that they gave her the whole Glow title, and they've been selling Glow titles and stuff like that. But this isn't the first time that as soon as they start marketing shit, they change somebody.
You want to talk about selling out shirts as Y2AJ?
The week they sold the shirts, or the week the shirts went on sale, they broke up. So, I mean, that goes back to exactly what you said, Paystee. Vince McMahon has the attention span of a fucking crackhead gopher or squirrel, I'd say.
I'm telling you, WWE, and he's going to cut me off for this, I swear to God he is, will be a far better place once he's dead and gone. Because once he leaves the company, they're still in danger of him coming around and poking his nose, his big, bulbousy, fucking, 71-year-old nose?
72 today.
72.
72, and we love you, Vince. God bless you and Godspeed.
We love you. But your company will be better when you die.
We hope you can't get to heaven fast enough, man. We hope you can't get to heaven fast enough. And for that, it deserves a drink of this mini ale.
Holy shit.
It is. I'm used to drinking like 16 ounces, and this shit like feels like a baby can in my hand.
So, in this podcast, I have drinking 25% more beer than I did the entire SummerSlam weekend.
And you know what? And
I
this
drank
is a
2
much
beers. For you who
occasion,
can't see, I drank 2 beers, and I'm on 3rd. Woo.
This is a much more worthwhile occasion. I would argue.
It's good.
So after that championship match, we had Big Ass versus Big Show with Enzo Amore in a shark cage. And I think I said this last week, but I'm going to say it again. I think this may be the first time in WWE history that a face has been locked in the shark cage. It's almost always a heel. And it's almost always a heel manager, which I guess Enzo is like a semi-manager. I don't know what the fuck he is.
I still feel like Jericho was a face back then. I feel like they were a face-heel pairing because Jericho always wanted to make Kevin happy, and Kevin was never satisfied.
You could argue that. Yeah, I mean, you definitely could make a case for that.
But he wasn't selling merch, so by his own definition, he's a heel. So my case is shot out of the air by his logic.
No, you can argue with Jericho. What does Jericho know about the Y2J character? Answer that. Fuck. Plus, he's Canadian. Fuck him. And a big shout out to all our Canadian listeners out there.
Yeah.
We love you, Canucks. We'll have some fries and gravy.
Poutine.
And some all-dressed fucking potato chips.
Poutine. Potato chips. You know what I got? I got
you
everything bagel and cream cheese kettle chips.
Okay, you know what? Those motherfuckers literally taste like potato chips with no fucking salt. Like just plain potato chips with no salt.
I feel like
I was so disappointed. Have you tried them yet?
Yes, I have them.
Do you like them?
I don't hate them. They don't taste like what they say they do. But Kirsten, I think, is the closest to it. She said it tastes like sour cream and onion mixed with, what? Maybe it was sour cream and cheddar chips.
Oh my gosh, I don't taste any onion at all in the bag I had. At least I got one of those mini bags. I don't know, maybe did you get a big bag or a mini bag?
I got a normal size bag.
Maybe they have more flavor. I mean, to me, literally, I had like 3 chips, and they all literally just tasted like a plain potato chip, but even not salted. And I'm like, this is a plain bagel. This is not like for an everything bagel. I expect at least garlic, because garlic's in an everything bagel. Onion,
plain bagel flavored potato chips.
You know, I was even talking to one of my coworkers, and I was like, maybe they're good with cream cheese. I don't know. The ones I want to try, though, are the fried green tomato.
Yeah.
I want to try those. And I've heard the taco ones are really good. And I heard the taco ones, you taste the lettuce a lot in it.
There you go.
Which is surprising.
I looked at it. I'm like, oh, another taco chip. And I immediately that's the only one I'm probably not going to try.
Yeah, I wasn't excited for it either, but I've heard good things about it. But the fried green tomato one I was excited to try, and I haven't yet.
My favorite to this day is the
Southern biscuits and gravy.
No, that just tastes like pepper.
That's a good one.
It just tastes like pepper.
I like that one.
No, I like the late nighter sliders chips.
Oh yeah, because you can taste the pickle really good.
The pickle is everything. You can seriously. It's like
the hamburger, the pickle. You can even taste the ketchup, and I'm not a ketchup fan, but you taste it, and it's okay in that chip.
Yeah, it's good. I think that is my favorite potato chip.
I concur. That's a very flavorful potato chip. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's very flavorful.
Your tongue definitely doesn't get tired.
That's how exciting Big Cass and Big Show was. That we literally got sidetracked by different flavored potato chips. SummerSlam, second biggest show of the year, motherfuckers! God,
shit.
So, I mean, we gotta talk about...
More potato chips?
More potato chips. I'm a big fan of the fucking cheddar and sour cream, man, because it's 2 of the fattiest things you can find, put together with a fatty product as a potato chip itself. I like to pile on the fat. That's why I love fucking chicharrones. Man, I fucking sit down, I'll eat fucking bags and bags of chicharrones. Mitchell will also. And he's just like, why are they so delicious, Dad? And I was like, you know what? Because some genius, some motherfucker out there was smart enough to say, you know what would make pork fat even better? If we threw it in deep fried grease. And pork rinds were born, folks. Let's deep fry pig fat in pig lard. Fucking.
I love pork rinds, but I've had my experiences where there's still hair on the rinds, and then I'm not happy with it anymore.
Dude, that's like the prize in the fucking Cracker Jack. What the fuck are you talking about, man?
Now, for me, all SummerSlam weekend, it was Fritos soups and chili cheese dip with Velveeta cheese and a can of chili.
Speaking of Fritos and speaking of chili, have you ever seen those fucking chili Fritos that got the fucking grill marks on them?
Not with grill marks, no.
Like, who the fuck's out there grilling fucking Fritos that you got to put fake grill marks on the Fritos? Like you're sitting there, crack open a bag, pour some in a bowl, and look at it, and like, oh man, grill marks, man. That brings me back to when Dad used to grill the Fritos on the grill back as a boy. I remember those summer afternoons on the cabin. Dad, can I have a Frito? Not yet, son. It's not quite done.
At the cabin. God, you have such a vivid imagination. I hear Fritos on the grill, and I think of the brokest family in history. Like, they get a little 30-cent bag of Fritos, and how can we make this stretch for the family? We gotta throw it on the grill, because they shut our gas off earlier today.
I don't even know where the fuck. I was going on something else, and I forgot where the fuck I was going. So I might get back into wrestling. I really thought I was going somewhere for a second. Did you see what I ate for SummerSlam? I had a giant fucking super SummerSlam Supreme Submarine sandwich.
Yes, I did see that.
It was huge. It was like 2.5 plates long. It had roast beef and turkey and ham with lettuce and pickles and tomatoes and bacon and mayonnaise. And it was just fucking delicious.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, and it had provolone cheese. It was killer. And I had it with chicharrones on the side.
There you go.
Anyways, there's a bunch of people listening to this who probably have no idea what chicharrones are. Folks, chicharrones are pork rinds, just to let you know.
Yeah, no, I always got to go, especially with the longer, like 5-6 hour sitting pay-per-views, I got to go with the Velveeta cheese dip with some chili. Because if I'm going to be sitting there, I might as well cement myself to the seat while I do it.
See, my problem is if I got to work in the morning, which I do have to work on a Monday morning, I'm going to have so bad acid reflux that I'm going to be sleeping, sitting up, and still waking up. I can't do any kind of chili with my shit. That's why I was pretty basic with my sandwich and my chicharrones, because it's pretty basic.
I was gassy for days.
Not too much to aggravate the tummy.
I was gassy for days, but
I believe it, man. I've been around you when you've been gassy. I let a good one go before we went live today, and I couldn't believe you picked that up on the mic.
From like across your house.
You're like, dude, you didn't have to fart. I was like, holy shit, you heard that? I thought I was safe. I was impressed, man. Impressed in myself and in you, and in the mic, and in your audio, like all of it. It all impressed me. All right, we can talk about wrestling, sure. Fuck it, let's do something different. I know, right? We're gonna do something different,
about everybody else, Fat Mack.
What's that?
Said you're too busy worrying about everybody else, Fat Mack. You gotta appreciate your own asshole sometimes. Get you some baby oil, lube your 2 fingers up, and start working them in there. Twist it around.
I don't know about that. I don't do the ass play. It's one of the few that I can do some really fucking shit I can do some stuff that'll make Ron Jeremy blush. But I still haven't, my own asshole is just not on, it's not on the menu, folks. But, pro wrestling. Pro wrestling started, back in the circus days as a sideshow, as an attraction to bring folks into the circus. And back then, you had strong men competing against other strong men. In fact, little lesson, the typical superhero uniform is based off of old school wrestlers and strongmen. Yes, folks. You look at Superman, you look at Batman, you look at those, and they're based off of the old school strongman who would wear a leotard, and that way he could show off his rippling and bulging muscles, but he would wear another set of underwear over top of them, because back in those times you couldn't show off all of your rippling muscles. So they'd pull up a little extra pair up there, and they would get that on there and do it real nice. And many of them would wear a cape to emphasize their movements when they whoof and wha, and it just gave a little backdrop. And that is actually where the current day superhero kind of came from. There you go, folks. That's your lesson for the. I mean, this isn't me making shit up. This is actually real. I mean, it sounds like something I would make up, but this is actually real. I didn't make that up. That's true. That's where like the golden age superheroes came from. That's why everybody has like tights and underwear on the outside and capes. All came from fucking.
That's not modern
circus.
day superheroes, though.
No, golden age superheroes.
You did say modern a couple of times there.
Well, that's where the modern day superhero came from.
I'm like, have you seen Daredevil? It took him 2 seasons to even obtain a suit.
Daredevil used to have a fucking yellow and red fucking spandex suit with wings on his boots and his cowl. At one point, somebody had mentioned wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay, so Big Show and Big Ass. We got to talk about this. The big moment came, and this I'm surprised about one thing. And I'll let you see if you are not sure what I'm really surprised or baffled or confused about. At one point, Enzo Amore oiled himself up. Yes, folks. Enzo Amore took his clothes off, doused himself with oil, and rubbed it all over himself, and then squeezed through the cages of the shark cage and dropped down to the mat, only to be kicked by Big Cass, and then have Big Cass beat Big Show and win.
Completely fucking pointless.
That was pointless. But was there anything in that really shocked you, Paystee, or that you couldn't figure out? Because there was something that I was really like, to this day, I'm still trying to figure out how they did that.
How do you get the baby oil in there?
I don't know. People always smuggle something in, whether it's brass knucks or a fucking taser or something. My question is, okay, even for the sake of saying it's a work and not a shoot, so let's say it wasn't baby oil. Let's say the bars were big enough that he could just slip through by himself, which they probably were.
Right.
And let's say that bottle was just water. Okay, just for show. Oh, there's a little water on me. He's rubbing it all over himself. It's all over his hands. All over his hands. So even if it's water and not oil, but worse if it's oil, how did that motherfucker hang on to that goddamn cage and not slip and fall? Damn! He's got a hell of a grip!
Right? That is impressive.
And if it was oil, damn! Because that's putting your life in your own hands there. Your own oily, slippery hands.
Putting your life from a 4-foot drop, potentially, depending on how short you are.
That was the shortest shark cage that they've ever had, also. Now, there were rumors circulating that they put Enzo in a shark cage as a rib to him because he was scared of heights. But I don't buy that with him escaping and dropping to the mat. I mean, like you said, it wasn't the super highest thing. But I don't know. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, it could be a rib. That could be how it came about, like, that last minute, you know? Because there was no build-up to it. It's just like, now Enzo's going in a cage.
And I guess that would make sense, too, because like I said, faces rarely ever go in cages.
Right.
So what gave him the idea to have a face in a cage? Haha, Enzo's scared of heights because he's short. Get it?
Well, I don't know. Is there a chance that the whole thing, like, Enzo's like, if they're going to put me in a cage, I'm going to bring some oil up there with me.
Like it's a whole work?
Yeah,
or
like,
a whole shoot, I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's all a shoot? He didn't even mean to get down? And then when he came down...
That's why Cass is just like, you're dead now. And I'm going to win the match. It did nothing. It didn't. It did nothing.
It didn't. There was no point for him to escape the cage just to get booted in the goddamn face.
Unless that boot weakened Big Cass's leg so that he could finish the job on Raw. This is a triple shoot.
Damn it! Damn it! They planned it from the beginning.
And then Enzo, after that, had to go to Vince McMahon and say, I need protection, because when he can walk again, I'm a dead man. And Vince is like, 205 Live, homie.
Right? We'll pair you with a Titus brand, you and Akira Tozawa. We spent a lot of time on a shitty match, but that's okay. Big Cass wins with the Empire Elbow. Pretty shitty. We had Randy Orton versus Rusev. We go from shitty we went from not very good women's match to shitty big ass Big E, Big Show, Big Enzo match to Randy Orton defeats Rusev in 8 seconds, folks. It has been clocked in at 8 seconds. Rusev, to his credit, Rusev attacked Orton right off the fucking bat before the bell rang and actually gave him a pretty good beating for 30 seconds before the bell rang. Whatever. They got into the ring, the bell rang, and Randy Orton hit one of the most devastating and best-looking RKOs we've ever seen. Rusev, and I said this while Paystee was out wandering around, but I'm going to say it again so Paystee can hear it. Rusev sold that fucking RKO like The Rock used to sell the Stunner. Like, that was a fucking RKO for the ages. Did I lose you again, Paystee?
No, I was sleeping.
Okay. I mean, this is, for this being an 8-second match, that and one other thing on this show are going to be clips shared throughout SummerSlam history for decades to come. I mean, you talk about, you know, they love to get their little video clips.
Oh, yeah.
They love to get their moments.
And
they love to get this.
They can't talk about Chris Benoit's record streak for quickest matches against, who was that, Christian? Who the fuck did he keep beating really fast?
I think it was Christian.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look
it up.
It
Because that Chris Benoit's death happened during the time I wasn't watching wrestling again, so I'm going off of memory and shit on that. But this is definitely, I mean, this gave him a SummerSlam moment, but it was worthless. It was pointless. It doesn't help Orton. It doesn't hurt Rusev. Or, I mean, it doesn't help Rusev. It does hurt Rusev a lot. Now, they could have had a good back-and-forth match with Rusev really putting it to Orton and beating the shit out of him really good, and then Orton hitting an RKO out of nowhere, especially that RKO out of nowhere, and winning. And I think it would have made both of them look good. But that is not what they do.
I Google search who did Chris Benoit beat really fast, and all that comes up is
his son. His son. Is that what it does? It say it? Does it say his son? It might not deserve a rim shot, but it got a rim shot.
Hey, at least you're on your buttons, man.
I love it. Yeah, it's really good. Now I'm just playing with the buttons.
Oh, this is...
that is good though. I love it. What about David Benoit? You ever think he's gonna?
And then I'm typing more words to try to make it better, like more defined. So I put in WWE, I put in submission, still just his family dying.
Well, you keep going on that. We're gonna move on to a good match. A good match. Raw Women's Championship match: Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss is the champion going into this. I thought a very good match. I wouldn't say either of theirs best match, but a very good match, especially considering, I'd say up to this point, this was the highlight of the show up to this point. Easily. And Sasha Banks wins with the bank statement. Now, Paystee, help me out if you can. I could not for the life of me remember who I picked as the winner for this match. Can you remember who you think either of us picked for this match?
I think it was Bliss. No.
You think we both picked Bliss?
I don't know. That's tough. I think.
I couldn't remember it, and I haven't had time to go back. Folks, we're gonna have to start fucking writing this shit down as we do it, so I know who picked what, and we'll have it down. And we haven't done that. We're failing you.
If you're listening and your occupation is a court stenographer, we will hire you.
We got a job for you.
We will pay you in grilled Fritos.
Yes. Grilled Fritos and plain bagel potato chips. If you want to stenography our show, is that the word? Did I make up a correct word?
I think you made up a word. I don't think you made up a correct word.
Stenography isn't a word. So what is the word of stenography? What is the adjective for stenographying?
Stenograph.
Stenograph? I thought Stenograph was the Snuffleupagus' girlfriend in Sesame Street, wasn't it? Wasn't that the one that Big Bird ended up fucking cockling him with?
I think so. I think you're right.
Hey, Snuffy, how are you doing? Well, Big Bird, I found yellow feathers in Stenography's cunt again. I'm starting to wonder if the trunk's not enough. Oh, Sesame Street took a turn after Jim Henson died, man. It's just not the same anymore. It's just not the same. And so, that brings us to Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. So here's my theory, okay? So what happened is the demon Finn Balor pinned the Eater of Pins, Bray Wyatt. I don't think that shocked anybody. I think we were both picking that one, right, Paystee?
Yes.
Yeah. So here's my theory. Here's my theory. Just listen to me here for a second. So the Raw before SummerSlam, Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor have a match. And Bray Wyatt beats Finn Balor clean. Pins him. Right?
Right.
Then SummerSlam comes and the Demon comes out and he beats Bray Wyatt. Pins him clean, right?
Right.
So for me, the next logical step is, since Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt had a match and Bray Wyatt won, but then Finn Balor's alter ego came out and beat Bray Wyatt, is that now Bray Wyatt's alter ego needs to come out and beat Finn Balor, and Husky Harris is making a return, folks!
There you go! My mind went to now Finn Balor and the Demon have to fight, but okay.
Well, that would be interesting also. Very interesting. I want to see Husky Harris versus Finn Balor. And then we get Husky Harris versus the Demon.
Oh, God. And then Husky Harris and Bo Dallas can be a tag team.
Yes.
And I can finally put all my love for wrestling to sleep because Bray Wyatt...
You know what I want to happen? During the Husky Harris fucking Demon match, Bo Dallas comes in and interferes. And during the match, the Demon and Bo Dallas are rolling around and fighting and wrestling, and in all of the hubbub, the paint rubs off of Balor and onto fucking Dallas, and he usurps the Demon nom de guerre, if you will. And all of a sudden, Bo Dallas is the Demon King, and he keeps it for a while. And then they got it up in the fucking ladder match, at WrestleMania.
The paint is a symbiote.
There's a couple of fucking buckets of paint up there and shit during a ladder match, and whoever gets it and dumps it on themselves. And
Finn Balor doesn't get his paint back until Mack gets to be broken and dips him in the lake of rejuvenation.
Right? Rejuvenation. And all of a sudden he gets it. That would be so awesome.
I started
great.
Started a new stream
IRS
of...
has to make a...
Yeah. I started a new stream of Ark on the PS4, and I made a boat, and I named my boat Skarsgård.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that we gotta have IRS in the match that fucking Bo Dallas fucking and Matt Hardy are in with the Lake of Rejuvenation. He just needs to make an appearance. Maybe just as the tax man. Like, he's just doing the Hardy's taxes while they fight.
He takes both Bray and Bo out by their earlobes.
Right? Just, come on, boys.
You guys aren't good enough to be here.
$1 Million Man comes in from behind and fucking nails him with the $1 Million belt.
Man, this shit... we might get off track, but this shit is better than most of SummerSlam.
What's even better is Ted DiBiase throws IRS into the Lake of Rejuvenation, and he comes out as Mike Rotunda from the Varsity Club, and he's there with Dr. Death Steve Blackman and with fucking Steiner, who's not Scott, Rick Steiner, and they come out with their varsity jackets and everything as they did back in the fucking old NWA. Man, fuck, we got this. Give us a show, WWE. Just give us 5-minute segments like fucking Southpaw. Come on, man. Give us Edge and Christian's old spot. We'll fucking take it. We'll do it with half the money they did it with. Half the money.
Why is Southpaw on YouTube and not on the network?
I think it's smart. I think it will be on the network at some point. But I think, from my understanding, and this comes from different interviews with actual talents who are on Southpaw, was that it was never even really intended to be a real thing. And then they were like, well, okay, let's shoot it. And then they shot it with the plans of it being a network thing. But then they still weren't really behind it, and so they put it out on YouTube. How the second season didn't end up going to the network, I thought it would. I thought for sure the second season was going to or that the first season would air on the network when the second season aired on YouTube, and it hasn't yet. So I'm not sure. I guess long story short, I'm not sure, Paystee.
Not sure.
Not sure.
Man, I want to watch Idiocracy now.
Shit. 6 minutes left, and we got to get through this motherfucker.
But now I want to watch Idiocracy.
You can watch it. You can watch it tonight. Raw Tag Team Championship match. The Shield versus Dublin 07. Dublin 07 are the champs going into this. The Shield ends up winning this, but my favorite moment of the fucking night happens during this match, folks. In the middle of the match, Cesaro jumps over the ropes, leaps to ringside, hops over the barricade into the crowd. What's going on, you might wonder, because we all did. We said, what's going on? He snatches a fucking beach ball out of the air and rips it to shreds, while millions of fans across the world shed tears for that poor beach ball.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. I loved this. I loved the fact that a superstar is standing up for the disrespect of the beach ball. Yes, as a paying fan, you have the right to blah, 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 blah. Yes, you do, 100%. Doesn't mean it's not disrespectful. I have the right to do disrespectful things to a lot of people. I don't do it because it's disrespectful. So the fact that this beach ball's fucking going around and people are cheering, beach ball, beach ball, while there's an actual really good match going on. I thought this match was very good.
Yeah.
Not the best match of the night, not even the best tag team match of the night, but good. And folks are disrespecting it by playing with a beach ball and giving their... Now, you and I are both fucking... we've hit a fucking festival or two. You introduced me to festivals, let me say. So I understand the distraction of bouncy balls during a show. I get that. I watched A1 Strategy literally make it a point. Like, take offense if he wasn't one to slap the balloon coming within a 10-foot radius of him. He was knocking young girls over to slap a fucking balloon. So I get the appeal. I do. 100% I get the appeal. But I also... I fucking give Cesaro a fucking applause for taking it upon his professional self to say, fuck it, I'm getting rid of this shit.
Hey, it was good. And honestly, I think it's good on both parts. I think it's your duty to have fun. I don't see. I get that it's disrespectful. I get that. But God damn it, it's a beach ball and it's fucking fun. And I would love to do it at a wrestling show. I would. I do love that Cesaro ripped it in half, and I love that it brought forth the newest person I followed on Twitter, the Beach Ball Bandit. Have you heard the tweets from this guy?
I have not.
He goes off on a tirade. Hang on. You keep it on the same topic, but give me a second. I'll get up the twits.
I will. You get going on that, and I'm going to say, I think the unsung hero in all of this is the female security guard who originally confiscated the beach ball. Allegedly, it started in the 100s section and somehow made its way down to the front. Because it happens. People try to hit it to the front because everybody wants to hit it into the ring. The same way Strata kept saying, I'm going to hit it on stage. Watch me hit the drummer. So I get it. I understand how it came to be front fucking row. I get it. So this security guard, she got a hold of the beach ball. Oh, I got it now, she said. Just like that. I heard her. Just like that. She took it and she put it under her chair. And the most sacred place in an arena is under a security guard's chair. Nothing can touch that. Nothing can. It's as if there are thousands of Mortys surrounded it, getting fucking jabbed on the sides with fucking spikes like that, just in fucking agony. It's just like that. You can't get it. You can't. And it was safe. But as soon as she did that, the power of the people arose, and a song sung from the arena, and it went, boo. And that security guard became the biggest heel in WWE that night. And she looked around, and some say that the Grinch's heart grew 3 sizes that day. And she reached beneath her seat and she grabbed the beach ball and nonchalantly she tossed it back over her head. Had she never done that, none of this would have ever happened. She is the unsung hero of the night.
The sacred double turn, man. The sacred double turn.
Right? Yeah, she did. She did. She went heel on us, but then she had a change of heart. She went face on us. God bless her. I don't have a name for her, but God bless her.
So the Beach Ball Band was born from this. And he says on Twitter in a series of tweets, if a ball full of human breath bothers you and your fandom of wrestling, I don't think WWE is for you. And then he said, another day, another show to attend tonight. WWE SmackDown Live. Be ready. There may be Beach Ball Mania coming for you. And he's thinking about making custom Beach Ball Bandit beach balls. And then when security guards took people out of the arena for throwing beach balls, he said, okay, WWE, that's how you want it. I can't be stopped. You ready? I thought I wouldn't. You thought I wouldn't have a plan B? See you in Memphis. And since then, beach balls have been banned from the arena. There you go. We gotta fight for our freedom,
like
folks.
A true hero. Good times, good stuff, a good show. We are going over our time. We got a little bit of time left. But you know what? The beach ball deserves our attention, and we gave it to him. Where the fuck are we at? Oh, shit. We're at a good match. U.S. Championship match. Shane McMahon is the special guest referee. AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens. This was... I'm torn. This is probably the best match yet for AJ Styles and Kevin Owens, but still not the match that they should have. And I don't think it could have been with the special guest referee stipulation. This match was almost the Shane McMahon show. I'd say 50% at least of the focus was on Shane McMahon.
I did not see it.
Okay.
I haven't went back in either. I heard AJ won.
So, yeah, he did, and it was good. It was a good match. He won with probably the worst Styles Clash yet on the WWE roster. It was, for whatever reason, I don't know if he was trying to do it too fast, or if Owens wasn't setting up good enough and sandbagged him accidentally. It wasn't a dangerous-looking Styles Clash. It just was a pretty crappy-looking Styles Clash. But it was more the Shane McMahon show. It was at least 50% him. And hey, that sells tickets. That's not a bad thing. And he, you know what? If my parents owned a global fucking entity that brought in millions of dollars, I would insert myself into the two biggest draws of the year. So I don't blame him for it. Why not do it? It's not,
right.
Whatever. It also looks like this is going to be... I haven't seen SmackDown, so I'm not sure. I've watched a little bit and heard a little bit and didn't hear anything about this, but it looks like they're going towards a Shane McMahon-Kevin Owens match at one of the next few pay-per-views, which could be good. Owens is extremely violent and ruthless, and Shane's extremely awesome at taking bumps. That could be a good match. You didn't get to watch SmackDown yet either, have you?
No, I have not. But I'm looking
so neither one of us
to.
are sure if that. Neither one of us are sure if that's explored any in SmackDown. But that's where I see this going. I think AJ is going on his own thing, and I think Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon are kind of going to do their kind of.
I did see a headline, something along those lines. Yeah. Yeah, their storyline was
match.
furthered on SmackDown. But I didn't read the article because I don't want.
Really good match, especially considering the night. It was one of the greater matches. We had Jinder Mahal versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Jinder Mahal's the champion going into this. He wins with again probably the worst Colossus I've seen yet, and the Colossus isn't the. I actually like the Colossus. Most people don't. Basically, what it is, folks, is it is a Cobra Clutch Slam. If you remember Sergeant Slaughter's old Cobra Clutch, it's, it's a Cobra Clutch, and then he slams them. This was pretty sloppy looking. The biggest thing did you see this one, Paystee?
Yeah, I woke up at the very beginning.
See, I don't know what it was. Jinder seemed like he was moving in slow motion this whole match for me. Like, he felt really weighted down. To his credit, Shinsuke, as good of a wrestler as Shinsuke is, probably should have had a better match against Jinder, despite whatever condition Jinder might have been in. This was not Shinsuke's A material either. And maybe that's Shinsuke just being frustrated with the product and frustrated with his push. That's possible.
Well, you said Vince McMahon changed the match part way into the night. Maybe Nakamura and Jinder are backstage friends. And maybe Jinder was, Nakamura really wanted to get the win, and Jinder wanted to keep the title, and when that got changed, spirits were low. Because the match wasn't as good as it should have been.
Yeah, maybe just changing it at the last minute. For all we know, Jinder and Shinsuke may have had it all fucking mapped out, and changing it at the last minute, they had to literally change everything at the last minute. And so maybe they were a step behind. That would explain that also. You are correct, Paystee. That would kind of explain it. So something just really seemed off between both competitors in this match to me. Thought it was a very poor match, especially for a championship match, especially for a co-main event.
Yeah.
Fatal 4-way for the Universal Championship. We had Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar! Motherfuckers, coming at you from the fortress of Super Mario World. Brock. No, I fucked up saying Block. God damn it.
Brock Lesnar. Okay. Smaller brother of the lead singer of Nine Inch Nails.
Trent Reznor. Shout out to my niece, because it's the only way I would know who Trent Reznor is. This from what I seen, best match of the night. From what I heard, second best match of the night, and that's New Day Usos. So I can't say that because I haven't seen it yet. But I've seen this match. You've seen both of them.
Yeah.
Which one do you think was better?
I think this was the match of the night.
You think it was?
Yeah.
Cool. It should be. This should be the match of the night really over a fucking pre-show match.
No, this was holy shit.
This was holy shit.
This was holy shit. When fucking Samoa Joe got Brock Lesnar in the whatever submission outside the ring,
and it was clutch.
Yeah, sorry, I'm bad. Okay.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right.
And then Roman Reigns came in with that spear right away. I'm like, holy shit, this is how you're starting this? It was intense.
It was the whole match. You know, and I've spoken ad nauseum about how I'm not a fan of fatal four-ways, triple threats, tag teams, blah, 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 multi-man championship main event ones. And yes, you are a huge fan of them. And I'm not. I am not, and I stand by it. I'm still not to this date.
It makes it less predictable. And it does, because we all said Joe got it.
To the rule. Because not only was this unpredictable, and it was, we stated last week that any of these four could have walked out with it and we wouldn't be surprised. I don't think. But this was the exception to the rule because it was an amazing match. Amazing.
Yes.
Psychology, action, fucking wrestling holds, high spots. Anything you want in a good match was in this match.
They didn't waste any time. Most multi-man matches go 3/4 of the match or the entire thing without saying, oh yeah, this is a no disqualification match. Let's break a table or use a chair. No, this happened instantaneously. These guys are like, let's kill each other.
Now we just had a fatal four-way that was actually really awesome. And I'm looking it up now for all of you on YouTube because I cannot think of what it was.
Right, it's already gone from the memory.
It is, and it's sad. But we just had a fatal four-way that I actually thought, again, was really good. If WWE keeps this up, I might change my mind about these multi-man matches. It was involving Brock Lesnar, but obviously, because he's the champion. Was it Lesnar, Joe, Rollins? Not Ambrose. Was it the same people except Rollins instead of Strowman? No, it wouldn't have been Joe. He's pretty. Well, was it?
I don't know.
He's fairly new, but anyways, whatever. I don't know. I'm gonna quit trying to think because I don't do well thinking. I do well talking, not thinking. This match, awesome. Like you said, the spear. Well, look at this, and this might take a little bit away from Roman Reigns, or this adds to every other competitor. I'm not sure. I think Roman Reigns threw about fucking 10 Superman punches in this match.
Oh, yeah, there was a lot.
Without getting a single pinfall victory. He was handing them out like fucking candy, you know, from a van of that disturbed guy who has that green army jacket and owns the van down by the river, David Spade told me. Yeah, he was just throwing them here, there, and everywhere. 2 announce tables got fucking destroyed. And one got flipped on top of fucking Lesnar.
Which they could totally oversold. That table weighs hundreds of pounds. No, it doesn't.
Hey, remember, these are the same people who, and again on this match, sell that a fucking computer chair getting thrown at somebody is worse than the fucking ring steps. The steel ring steps.
In this match again, though, it looked like the fucking wheel end of the chair hit Reigns in the head again. And yes, that would hurt.
I don't care. Yeah, it would hurt, but so does fucking falling on that mat. Yes, they hurt if you're a normal person, and they hurt these people, but they're not near as bad as the extreme shit that they take. A chair shot to the fucking back hurts worse than a fucking computer chair thrown at your face. I'm sorry. It's a fucking computer chair. I thought it was a great ending, though. Roman Reigns went for a spear, and Lesnar ended up fucking throwing him up into a F5. I would not have... There's no way I would have guessed that Lesnar would have beat Roman Reigns to win. Now, I think we both picked Brock on this one. I'm actually fairly certain we both picked Brock, which would have been a good pick.
We both said Joe.
I mean Joe. I'm reading Brock on my screen. I shouldn't read and talk at the same time. We both picked Samoa Joe. So neither one of us picked Brock. But even if we picked Brock, I don't think either one of us would have thought it would have been pinning Reigns. I think we would have figured either Braun or Joe would have taken the pin.
I thought so, but it's very fitting for Reigns to lose it. Fans love to see Reigns lose. It's a bit of fan service.
They do.
I know that was the thing at the end of the match for me wasn't, yes, Brock won. It was, ha, he pinned Roman.
You know what the thing at the end of the match was for me? And I literally thought this is probably my last thought after the match fucking went done, was every fucking contestant looked strong. Like, that match did not end with any one person looking weak.
Yeah.
Joe didn't look weak. Brock didn't look weak. Reigns didn't look weak. Even though he didn't win, I would argue Braun Strowman
looked the strongest by far. Oh, yeah.
I mean, and hey, how about this? For as much shit that people give Lesnar for his weak work schedule, I would argue in this match alone, Brock Lesnar took more fucking abuse and more fucking damage than every mid-carder combined this year, just in this match. I mean, Brock let himself get fucking mortalized.
Yeah, he showed love to the company and to the art form of wrestling in a way that I never would have expected from him. The way he allowed himself to be brutalized. In a way, he hasn't done it
for a long time. Yeah. Not since this new run, definitely. Yeah, you've seen something different this time than you have seen for a long time. Because, he worked his ass off this match. He earned his fucking $6 million.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, another fun fact here that I'm just going to slip in real quick since we're over time anyways. Did you know that if you count the amount of money they make divided by the amount of hours they work, Brock Lesnar is paid more per hour than Bill Gates?
Holy shit.
Like, by a lot. Like, not even by a little bit, by a lot. But think about it, Bill Gates probably works, fucking 6 days a week.
Right.
Brock Lesnar. And Bill Gates brings in more money than Brock Lesnar. Do not let that...
Right,
Don't let me fucking confuse you.
But on a scale...
Brock Lesnar does not make more money than Bill Gates. I'm talking if you broke it down to an hourly pay rate, which most of us schmucks live off of. Brock Lesnar makes more money per hour than Bill Gates.
Oh, yeah.
But that doesn't include whatever training Brock Lesnar does off the clock, just to stay in ring shape. So it is kind of a slighted scale, because I'm sure he spends a lot of time. He has a home gym. I'm sure he spends a lot of time in his home gym doing shit and, whatever.
I definitely think next we need to see Braun versus Lesnar in a one-on-one championship match. And I think that's where Lesnar loses it.
It looks like that's where they're going. And that would be, if you would have said something a year ago, maybe even 6 months ago, I would have said no. Right. Definitely.
You're gonna ruin Braun's character if you do this now.
Yeah, 18 months ago, I would have said, fuck no. Fuck no. Now, I'm going to say yes. I'm okay with Braun Strowman. And I think it's better for Braun to beat Lesnar because it's somewhat realistic. And then I think from Braun, you can have a smaller guy beat Braun. I think he doesn't have the aura Lesnar has. I think you need a big guy to beat Lesnar. But then I think basically anybody can beat Braun in the correct scenario from there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it would be a small guy. It would be. If Enzo didn't go to 205 Live, I'd throw him up there to be the guy to do it.
I would
Not that he deserves it. Not that he deserves it, but he's like the Rey Mysterio figure with a loud mouth. But anyways, the way I envision it is they come and they fight each other in a one-on-one match. Braun Strowman completely brutalizes Brock Lesnar to a point where Brock Lesnar isn't moving anytime soon. He wins the match, he gets the title, then goes and grabs Paul Heyman by the scruff of the neck and brings him with him. And then on Raw, you see Paul Heyman holding the championship because Braun doesn't give a shit about the championship. He just wants to fuck people up. And that is it, man.
Paul Heyman, snoo. I'm not even gonna let non-Futurama fans know what that fucking means.
If you don't know what that means, go away.
Paul Heyman, snoo. Poor Heyman. With that, I think we're gonna call the main show done. We will do our Patreon with our Patreons. And folks, we hope you enjoyed it. Our second YouTube video, a little touch and go, but we're notorious for our technical difficulties. So I think
we're excited to bring those to a whole new platform. It's exciting.
Yes, definitely.
The podcast itself went over without a hitch.
It's over in a brand new way because Vince loves to do that. So, folks, from all of us at Cloud Style Broadcasting, I'm Fat Mack.
I'm Paystee Whyt. And let us know what you think about the new screen layout on the YouTube if you get a chance to check it out or if you're watching.
It was a lot of hard work on Paystee's end. I was lazy and I haven't helped at all, and I apologize. But nonetheless, I love you all like a lovesick puppy.
And I love you even more.
And we're out.
Peace. You hung up on me instead of ending it. And now I'm going to keep streaming because he hung up on me instead of ending it. That's funny. He's a silly boy.
Hello?
Hi. We're still on with the YouTubers because you hung up on me instead of ending the podcast.
Okay. Do I just hit thanks I'm done?
Yeah.
Do I just hit thanks I'm done then?
Yes.
Okay.
And now a special sign off
So what
to
do I
YouTube.
do?